from a different star, flying over streets and the broken hearts. But they can't even touch us, we found a different beat. Paradise is waiting and we bought the lead. Ooh, getting caught in the mist, there's so many that never get out of. They're feeding the fears and the doubts.
Good morning and welcome to another vlog, a dressage vlog. So I am sorry if any of you are here waiting for the jumping content. It will come at some point, I promise you, but at the moment we are very much in a dressage hole. Sometimes that happens, doesn't it? Things just all fall around the same time in the calendar, and yeah, all of our dressage stuff has fallen all at the same time. So this weekend we are competing in the British Dressage South and East Region Inter-County Challenge. Gosh, that was a tongue twister. Can't get my words out, can I? It's at Berry Farm, which if you've been watching our vlogs for a while, you will know is one of our lovely local venues, hence why Megwin is out in the field. So we're not actually competing today until about 4 p.m. It's a weekend challenge. There is a vlog of this that I did last year, so you might want to go and watch that if you haven't already, to give you an idea of what happens, because I might not film as many things just to try and keep it a little bit different. But last year we competed in the challenge for the first time and we competed at prelim level. This year we are stepping up to novice by choice, but also because of the eligibility rules. We have had to step up to novice actually if we wanted to take part. So because we did the prelim freestyle at Arena UK last year, and I think even, to be fair, the fact that we went to Hartbury on a wild card, I think that means that we've had to step up another level. Sadly, this is going to be our last year of being able to do it because we competed at Winter Nationals this year at prelim level. We can't take part in it unless they change the rules. We won't be able to take part in it next year, not even at a higher level. So we're going to make the most of this weekend. We have got to do the novice 22 test today, which I actually thought we were doing the area festival and regional tests, but it turns out we're not, and it's probably a good thing because Meg knows those tests quite well and can be a bit opinionated about when we should be doing things, should we say. So yeah, we are doing novice 22 today and novice 38 tomorrow. Not until 4 p.m. today and about 1 p.m. tomorrow. So very, very civilized times. And because Berry Farm is only 20-30 minutes from us, it's not worth us stabling Mega there. She can go and do her test, come back out in her field, stable at home overnight, keep nice and chilled and relaxed. Obviously she does do stayaways if we have to, but if we don't have to, then it's much nicer for her to stay at home, isn't it? And I will just drive backwards and forwards to Berry to support the rest of the team. But so it's early. I'm just in my scruffs, not ready for a show at all. So I'm just going to muck out Mega Stable, get all of my jobs done. I've started mucking out. And then probably head over to Berry and go and cheer on some of the team. I have arrived, collected all my Bedfordshire kit, just trying to locate Mother with the lorry. I came separately in the car so that I can stay afterwards and be involved with all of the team activities and fun and games. But yes, first, locate Mum. Here she is! And we are straight in with our first test, novice 22. So we enter at A and proceed down the centre line without halting and then track left at C. We scored a 6 for this with a comment of quarters slightly right. Normally Mega does quite a straight centre line, but I would say her rhythm looks a little bit hurried compared to normal, would be my comment. We then at S do a 15-metre circle left. We scored a 6.5 for this with a comment of needs more bend and suppleness, which I think is completely fair. You can actually see that she's not super consistent in the contact, and that's always a huge giveaway to me when Mega has not got quite the amount of suppleness that she needs. We then do a half circle 10 metres to X and then another half circle from X to B. We scored a 6.5 with again a comment of needs more suppleness, which again I completely agree with. We then repeat that. So P, do a circle 15 meters. We actually scored a 7 for this, which is interesting because this is the harder rein for Mega, but maybe it just worked in our favour slightly that we were further away from the judge, who knows. We then proceed round to K, and we change the rein, showing some medium trot strides to R. And for this we scored a 7 with no comments. But you can see that there's a clear difference in her pace there. Would like her to be a bit rounder, a bit softer through the contact, but no comments from the judge, so we'll take that. We then change the rein going back the other way from H to P and show medium trot strides again. However, we scored a 5.5 for that with a comment of losing regularity, which, yeah, you can see in that clip there that her rhythm just wasn't consistent. So that's completely fair. At A, we then drop down into medium walk, and then we change the rein in a free walk on a long rein from K to B, and then from B it's medium walk. So all of those movements is one mark together. This is double marked, and we scored a 7 with no remarks from the judge there, but this is a normally consistent movement for Mega. She's normally good with her free walk, but I would say she could stretch down more. She normally does more than that. Then at R, we pick up working trot, and then between M and C, we pick up canter. You can see she hollowed through there, which is what the judge's comment says, which is a little against the hand, and we scored a 6.5. Then at C, we pick up a 20-meter circle. We scored a 7 for this with no comments, but it looks like a nice pleasing rhythm to me. Then from H to K, we show some medium strides of canter. We got a 6 for this with a comment of hollow, which, yeah, again, I would like her to be softer and rounder, but she just wants to take the bit and tank off with me. Then we changed the rein F to E in working canter. She scored a 7 for this. It's E to S in counter canter as well, included in that mark, which I thought was good. She looks nice and balanced. Then at S, we come back down to working trot, and between H and C, we pick up canter again. We scored a 6 because she hollowed into the canter transition. Then at C, we pick up another 20-meter circle. We scored a 6 with comments of tight steps and a little against the hand, which is where the transition sort of flowed into that circle, unfortunately, affecting that mark. Then we repeat what we did on the other rein, medium canter along the long side, M to F, and working canter at F. We scored a 7, no comments from the judge there. And then we repeat again what we did on the other rein, changing the rein K to B in working canter with counter canter, B to R. We scored a 7. Again, she was keeping nice and balanced, but I would like her softer and rounder through from her back. Then at R, we go back to working trot and go around to C, where we come back down to medium walk. We scored a 6.5 with a comment of against the hand. And then we changed the rein again, free walk on a long rein, 2 free walks on a long rein in this test. And we scored a 7.5 for that. And again, this was double marked. So Mega's free walk on a long rein really helped us out in this test. Although, again, I would have liked to have seen her drop her nose down a bit more and stretch forward. I know she can do better than that. At P, we then pick up working trot, which she hollowed, but we did manage still to get a 6 as we turned down the centre line with a comment of tight, tense steps. But yeah, I mean, given that transition, that's completely fair. And then at X, we come to a halt and salute, and we scored a 7. Comments saying, willing horse now needs to work into a more elastic collection and around a softer frame to aid suppleness and balance. There she goes. Goodbye, Megwin. Test all done and dusted, and as you have seen, Megwin is on her way home with Mum. I have just gone and dropped my stuff up at the car, and I'm now going to go with the team to decorate our team stables, ready for the stable competition. The test itself, I actually wasn't too displeased with it. It had some canter across the diagonal, which I was worried about with Meg, because she seems to think canter across the diagonal automatically means medium canter, and there was an element of me just having to contain her, hold her together, but she did manage to just about for the test. I think some of our downward transitions were a little bit ropey as a result, but otherwise I was pretty pleased with her. So yeah, I'll keep you posted how the scores on the doors go, but until then, I've got to get ready for the stable competition.
I can try. I can't see very much. With your glasses, you really are. This will be quite an interesting photo. I just want to see what it looks like, actually.
So after the stable competition, it was a quick check for the scores on the doors, ready for the team parade, where all of the teams get together. Sometimes they dress up with our county flags and banners and go and parade before dinner. And then once our bellies are full, we head to bed. Mega had a lovely sleep. Day 2 of the BD Inter-County Challenge. I've just been to the lorry and dropped off the Bailey's goodies bags. I think the team coordinator's got a couple of other bits she wanted to add. Mega is on her way in the lorry with Mum. Because we're not stabling here, it's easier for me to drive separate, and then once our tests are done and dusted, Mum can take Meg home. She's not hanging about and stuff, and then I can be around to help out with the rest of the team if need be. So we're just waiting for her to arrive. I'll get changed and we'll get on board to do our second test. So day 2, test 2, we enter in working trot, proceed down the centre line without halting and at C track left. We scored a 6.5 with a comment of came in straight but some hesitation over X. The hesitation was Mega going for a poo, as you will have seen, so could have scored higher if she had chosen a better time to take a toilet break, but never mind. We then carry on round to S and do a 15-metre circle left. We scored a 7 for this with no comment from the judge, but I do remember this second day she just felt so much more with me, so much more together. I think I got a bit more involved in the warm-up, so it just led to a better feeling test overall. Then we changed the rein E to F and transitioned to walk 1 horse's length, immediately then proceeding to trot. We scored a 7, no judge's comment there. And then F, A, K, V, working canter right. So canter comes quite early in this test. We scored a 7. And then at V, we circled 20 metres and we scored a 6.5, a comment that just says a little tension through the neck, which you can see because actually she's swishing her tail a little bit, which means she's got a bit tight and just needs to relax over her back a little bit more. We then continue half circle, 15 metres at S, returning to the track at V. We scored a 7 for this. Again, nice and balanced. She's got this whole counter-canter thing down to a T, because then we get VK counter-canter and we scored a 7 with, again, no judge's comment. We transitioned to working trot at K. We scored a 6.5 for that, saying not quite to the contact, which I think was fair. And we then changed the rein, showing some medium trot strides across the diagonal here. We scored a 6.5, saying pleasing steps, but could be bolder, which I've been trying to avoid the boldness, so we'll just let that go for the moment. We do working trot SCR. We scored a 6.5, could relax into the contact, which, yes, you can just see she's just a little bit tense there. And we then do a 15-meter circle at R. We scored a 7, but there I would still like to see her just relax a little bit more. I don't know if because she has been a little bit bolder recently, I'm getting a bit tense in the test and that's passing through to her. But we then changed the rein B to K with a transition of walk here. But unfortunately, Megwin had a little trip. So yeah, we just recomposed, gathered ourselves. We scored a 4 for that, and the judges did fall on the knees. We had to get ourselves back together because we had to canter at K. We scored a 6, saying a little muddled at the start, which I think is probably fair given the circumstances. K, A, F, P, working canter left, we scored 6. And then at P, we circled 20 metres, we scored a 7. So despite all of that, she's managed to recompose herself, get herself back together for her canter circle, which I was really pleased with. Then at R, we repeat what we did on the other rein. So it's a half circle left, 15 metres, returning to the track at P. We scored a 6, which says against the aids. And that's because of this head chucking where she tried to take off with me and I said no, we weren't doing any of the lamering like we had at Hartbury. The canter we got a 6.5 with a comment of more balance. Transition to working trot at F, 6.5. Not quite steady to the contact. And then we do the change of rein in medium trot strides. We scored a 6.5 with a comment of needs to be bolder. So I understand what the judge is saying, but given how the last couple of tests have gone with her mediums, I am playing it a little bit safe. Then at C, we transitioned to medium walk. We scored a 6.5 with a comment of not quite steady to the contact. We then changed the rein, H, I, B, free walk on a long rein. We scored a 7 for this with a comment of pleasing stretch. Again, she is stretching her neck out, but I would like to see her stretch her head down a little bit more to get those extra marks. Just before B, we transition progressively into medium walk, and BLK changed the rein in medium walk. We scored a 7 for that with no comments, but I would like to see her a little bit more relaxed and consistent in her outline there. At K, we transition to working trot and then turn down the centre line at A and halt at X. So for the centre line, we get a 7, and the halt and the salute at X, we get a 6.5 with a comment of sidestepped into a square halt, because yeah, I realised she wasn't square and corrected it. So comments, horse showing 3 correct paces, now needs to develop the contact and balance for higher marks. There she is, all loaded, ready to go home. Aren't you, Marie? Day 2, test 2, not one that will go down in the history books, that's for sure, aside from the fact that there was almost a fall on Mega's part, more than mine actually. So in one of the downward transitions where you come across the diagonal and you have to trot, walk, trot, I don't know what happened, she just lost her footing and yeah, we nearly ended up on the floor, didn't we, Meggie? Scrambled. So yeah, that wasn't ideal, and then we had to quickly recover to then carry on with the rest of our test. But there was some sweet moments in there. I actually was pretty impressed with how nice her canter was, given that she had just nearly fallen over. But yeah, not expecting a big score as a result of that. She was, and still is, from Hartbury the weekend before, feeling quite opinionated and not wanting to stay in her box. So I think it's safe to say she's had enough of doing dressage, however many weekends on the trot now. So we need to go and have some fun, do some hacking, do some jumpies, hey Megs. Look at her. And yeah, mix things up. She will have a week off anyway, because I'm off on holiday for a week in a couple of weeks. So that might be the well-deserved break that she needs before we pick back up again for winter. But yeah, I will keep posted what the score actually ends up being. They aren't marking overly generously across the board, so I don't have high hopes. My prediction would be low 60s. Let's see what it comes out as. Team prize giving and photos. Mega and I actually ended up being the Bedfordshire Novice Champions, the highest placed individual for our team, which was fab. We are happy and we are home. Megwin actually ended up getting about 66.13%, I think it was, for today's test, which was actually a slightly better mark than yesterday's, and it did feel like a slightly better test than yesterday, so it was good that the marks reflected that despite us having that big trip. She would have got a much higher mark. I think we actually got a 4 for the trip, and obviously she was a little bit unsettled after that, which did mean that individually I think we came 21st, which out of 44 competitors I'm pretty chuffed with, given that we didn't exactly put our best foot forward, shall we say. And then as a team we came 11th, which was really good as well. I absolutely love competing in the Inter-County Challenge, so I hope you guys have enjoyed coming along for the ride, and we shall see you for another vlog very soon. Bye guys.